Hi,
How are
sorry
you?
about those technical issues. It's always a bit tricky, isn't it?
How's it going?
Good, good. So, this is June, and June is one of my Serene sorters who got started back in February, I think. So maybe June, you could just quickly tell us a bit about yourself, what your sort of home situation is, um, so that everyone can get the context.
Hi. Yeah, my name's June. I live at a guest house with my husband. We've been there for 33 years, so we've got a lot of stuff about that obviously needs sorting. You know, you put stuff in an area and it stays there and languishes for some time. So we've been using the serenely sorted techniques to try and put all that into some semblance of order, and
Yeah.
it's getting there. Yeah.
So your daughter's grown up now, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's just me and the husband at home now. We've got we sort of regularly have grandkids, so we've also been sorting their area out with
Right.
a box, and it's all in one space now instead of being scattered around, which is good.
Right. So basically in your guest house you've got all the rooms for the guests, but then not so much space for yourselves, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. We have you know, we have our kitchen and lounge, which is private to us, and our bedroom accommodation. But a lot of the accommodation, like the dining room and all the bedrooms, are accessed by the guests. So we have quite a limited storage, really, although
Right.
it's a good sized house. But yeah, storage is limited.
And remind
But
me, how long have you been in there
we've
now?
been there 33 years nearly next
Right.
month.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff accumulated over that time.
I can imagine. So basically, I invited you to Serenely Sorted Soiree back in, I think it was
Was it
February time.
February? Yeah, yeah, that's
And
it.
so that was in my home. And I guess, what did you think of it? Was there something that particularly sort of struck a chord with you following from that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you do is, you know, you put things in a place and it just sort of stays there. And trying to remember where things are over that period of time just get a bit difficult. So I've really enjoyed the end home sort of technique, and
Yeah.
I've worked hard at trying to get things in a place and in some sort of organisation. So I've got end homes for places,
Right.
and the, you know, getting things into a compartment and into a storage box has been
Yeah.
good.
So sort of like the divide and conquer, which is that's
That's
topic
yeah,
that we've been
that's
covering
it.
this
Yeah,
week. So like, could you give us a couple of examples, like maybe from your kitchen of
yeah.
new
The,
things that you've done?
the kitchen particularly, we've had, you know, the deep drawers have been, you know, you use the stuff off the top of the drawers, but you tend not to go down below and you forget what you've got there. But I've managed to find containers that have been really useful to get, you know, section things off
Yeah,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
different utensils really. And I've got a section for all my drinks things, which is really good and handy because this lockdown we've been getting a little bit to drink, so we've been using all the
Cheers.
different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, just getting the things that I know exactly where I can just go to get them has been great.
Yeah, and I think one of the things when we were chatting about it before, like because you have staff that come in, and actually one thing that struck a chord with me is that having end homes is not just useful for you and your family members, but if you've got a cleaner or somebody who's coming into the house, like it helps with them tidying stuff up as
That's
well,
yeah,
right?
exactly. They know where to put things. It's you know, it's all right. I know where to put it,
Yeah,
but you know, our kitchen is sort of semi-domestic, semi-commercial.
yeah,
So you know, I can go in and I know where things go, but then you know, the cleaner comes in, and because she may not use it every day, she'll put it where she thinks it goes, and then I
Yeah.
go to look for it and it's not there. But with the end homes now, I can say, well, you know, all the big ladles will go there, or you know, the whisks will go there, and that sort of thing. And she's getting better now at putting things where they should be. And although I've not thrown a lot of stuff away, by just getting them organised, it's made more space.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's made stuff more accessible, which has been great, you know. And I can see exactly where stuff is now, instead of it being cluttered and piled on top of. Everything's got its own area.
Yeah, and I think that sounds like it's quite a benefit because you've got a smaller space, you know, and it's like you say, sort of home, domestic, and sort of for your commercial use, that you've got to really maximize that space. So
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because you know, you've got your own stuff in the cupboards and drawers, but you've also got the stuff that you have to use for the guests. So we've probably got more stuff in the cupboards,
yeah,
than, you know, most people would have at home. So it's great to have it organised, and
yeah.
all in its own separate box.
You also said something about under the sink, which actually, I think I've noticed a few of my sorters have posted pictures of their under the sinks, and how, you know, because it tends to be this sort of mass of cleaning
Oh
stuff.
yeah, lots of different. And then you think you know, oh, you're out. You think, oh, I must need a sanitizer or a general cleaner, and you buy that and you put it, and then you find you've already got one, and it just ends up cluttered. So now with the baskets, I've put them under the sink, and I can just get them out straight away, and I can see what I have got.
Yeah.
I've got a lot more room under the sink now. And it's very clear what I've got, and as I use it, I'm not having to clutter it up, and it's all more visible because of the containers, you know.
Yeah, and then like, because and I thought of this as well, you know, that sort of nightmare if you need to switch the water off and you've got to get all those individual things out, and then you just
you can just take the basket out, because, you know, again, you know, with a commercial dishwasher and that, you have a slight problem now and again with it overflowing, and you know, you want to get everything out to clean underneath, and it's much better just to be able to get a couple of baskets out,
yeah,
wipe it all out, clean it. You can keep on top of it and keep it all clean and tidy, and see what's there, and it's just far more accessible.
I've got a question here from Summit Junkie. Any tips for keeping shoes in a busy guest house?
Oh,
Not
well,
to put you on the
again,
spot, June.
I know we have got, like, the shoes that you sort of will use on a day-to-day basis. We've got a small utility room at the back, and it is very compact. But what we've done is just make a box section that we've split in two, and I put my shoes and slippers and things on one side, and my husband puts his on the other side. And you just know that they're your shoes. We're just going in and out of,
Yeah.
slippers, and we do it like that, and then everything else we keep upstairs in the bedroom.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, for my own shoe stuff, like, we have two baskets for the kids' shoes, and I don't know how they end up with so many pairs of summer shoes and different things, but they do fill the basket. So I like have a winter box that I put away, like a proper storage box for their sort of winter ones. Swap them round just you know, twice a year, which but like, I've actually been forcing my kids to put them back in that box. So, like, you know, you see them on the floor or piled around, and just telling them that's not his end home, put them in their end home. And
Yeah.
it's baby steps, but, you know, one day I will be launching Serenely Sorted Junior. You know, so I'm sort of practicing those techniques at the moment, and it does sink in a little bit. So, you know, we can always live in hope, can't we? So, and actually, another idea, I think you mentioned something about the toolbox, right? And that's something actually that I haven't done yet, but I'm going to get onto that and do a video on my own tool stuff.
Know, little things, you'll have a guest come down and say to us, oh, such and thing's not working quite right. And one of my kitchen drawers was just so cluttered. You'd end up with like about 8 or 10 different screwdrivers in there that you don't need. And so what I've done is I've sort of had a big toolbox that we keep the main tools in, and then a small one again in the utility room, but then just in the drawers that I've tidied, I've got a compartment just with an electrical screwdriver, a hammer, and just things that you just need instant access to, a tape measure and that sort of thing. And it's made, again, that's made loads more space in my drawers. You know, I've ended up with actually empty drawers, which I've never had before, you know, so it's been really useful for that.
That's cool. So I think, you know, obviously it's just sort of fairly recently you've been doing this, but you know, what would you say has been the main benefit for you, sort of, you know, getting Serenely Sorted into your life?
Well, one of the good things is it's got everything sort of off my tops cleared, because I've managed to make the space and put things away that were, you know, on the surfaces before. So now, especially at this time where, you know, you have to keep everything sanitized, it's so easy now just to spray everything down and wipe it, because you're not having to take stuff off, wipe it and put it back. It's all clear. And that's been a great help. And it's just nice that, you know, you'll have something there and you think, oh, I'll just put that away, I know exactly where that's going. So I think for me the end home thing has been, you know, and the divide and conquer, those two things have been really inspirational, really. That it's almost like, you know, you know it, and it's not rocket science, but just having those phrases put to you has just made you really aware of it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just the sort of terms, and then you repeat the terms, and it's the mindset, really. It's
very
sort of
much
getting that into the mindset. I did bump into Bill, and he's like, you know, she's just at B&M buying baskets the whole time.
I know. When I go around any of the shops now, I'm looking at the different size baskets, or where can I make use of that, you know, and they're not expensive. You know, I used to think, oh, I'm going to use old margarine tubs or something like that, but the ones that are really good size for what you want to do, you know, they're £1 or £1.50. So it's not an expensive thing, that, and you know, it just gets you so much more organized. You know, it's really been good.
Well, you know, I'm really delighted. And I think, you know, it's really great to talk to you, June, because it's, you know, what I want people to know is that Serenely Sorted, it's not just for, you know, busy working mums or this group or that group. I was really pleased actually that it resonated with you, and that, you know, even though you've been in your home 30 years and, you know, doing things a certain way, like it's made a difference to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's been delightful actually to know.
Yeah, it is. It's been great. And you just need that push sometimes, and that initiative to go and do something, because you get very complacent, and, you know, you keep on piling things on top of things. And especially at this time, and you haven't had to do loads at once. You can just do a cupboard at a time, and, you know, you don't have to empty everything out of all your cupboards. You can just pick a cupboard and organize that and have that done in a couple of hours, and, you know, you're sorted, and just do it a little bit at a time, which has been good.
Yeah, and you can immediately get a benefit from just that small bit, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's something that, you know, is definitely part of my sort of whole way of thinking, and my courses, you know, don't try and change everything overnight, but just pick a manageable chunk, you know, so that you can actually get it done. Because the worst thing you want to do is empty all your cupboards, actually, because
I know that
bored and you're going to just throw everything back in. So
that's it. You know, it's too much then, isn't it? And you get, as you say, you get bored with it. But just being able to do a little bit and see that improvement, and then, you know, you don't have to do it the next day. A couple of days later, you can just pick on another one, and it really does make you feel better that it's all there. And there's things that, you know, you forget how long you've had things. I've not used this for years, you know, and you can get rid of it, and all the space that's created by organising it you know, without having to get rid of hardly anything really. It's just
Right,
that's good. Yeah,
quite something, isn't it?
yeah,
You know,
that's yeah. I mean,
it's
I am a bit of a hoarder. You know,
but like you say, it's not even about necessarily having to or wanting to sort of declutter. It's just about efficient use of space,
exactly.
and then, you know, much more useful. So, you know, I'd say, you know, so like, how do you feel after, you know, having done some of these things?
You do. You just feel so much more organised, and you know, to be able to have somewhere, you know, if you've got a pile of stuff, you sort of think you're moving that around all the time and not getting rid of it. Whereas now I've sort of got stuff, put it in places, to have those tops nice and clear and organised. Because again, because it's semi-commercial, you have more stuff out than you would
Yeah, yeah,
in a domestic environment. But having somewhere to put the piles really, that's
yeah.
been really good, that you can go in and it's just nice clean surfaces. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for giving us your
So
story.
thank you.
And just for everyone, before we finish, basically, you know, the Serene Sorted Story is all about, you know, talking to different people who've gone through learn the Serenely Sorted system. And, you know, I want you to know that it is realistic, it is achievable, it is sustainable. You know, all different kinds of people are doing, learning the Serenely Sorted system. And, you know, it's for everyone. It's for
Yeah.
all different kinds of people.
I mean, your video on the pantry was really great. I really enjoyed watching that.
I
And
love doing that.
yeah, it just makes you go in and makes you sort it all out. And it's surprising, you know, it makes you get rid of all that old stuff as well, because
God.
you don't realise where the years go. You think, oh, gosh, you know, I had something 2007 and I thought, this is ridiculous, you know. So I've managed to sort of get organised with all that, and, you know, get rid of stuff that you buy in a fad really. And then, you know,
Yeah.
you use once or twice, you don't use it again. And this has made me sort of get a section for, you know, all your rice and different things like that. Another one for all the spices. And it's just great being able to pick them down, use them and put them back without, you know, rooting them and reaching up. They're there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I've experienced with the pantry cupboard as well. I don't know if we'll ever eat the comfy duck from Costco before the sell by date goes, but I live in hope now that it's there on display for us to sort of keep looking at in the exotics area.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, that's it, isn't it? All the food, you can get all your separate sections, can't you, with the pasta and the rice and all that's, yeah, that's great.
In the past 4 weeks, it's made shopping for me much easier because I can also visualize what I've got better.
Yes.
And know, you know, what's going down and what I've got a lot of. So yeah, watch that pantry video for everyone if you've not watched that yet.
Yeah.
Huh?
Just makes it much more efficient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you can see that's coming to an end and then you want it. And instead of, you know, at the moment, well, when I sort of started, I had 3 big packs of pasta and I thought, you know, it just takes some getting through. So now I know I don't need that for ages.
Yeah.
They were in all different compartments before instead of being in one end place.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Great. Well, thank you very much, June.
Pleasure.
And it's been great to hear your story. I really appreciate you taking the time. So thanks everyone who's joined. And I'll be loading this up to Serenely Sorted YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you missed most of it or didn't see all of it, then you can see the whole interview there by tomorrow. Thanks a lot, June. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay. Thanks, Diana. Nice.
Bye.
Bye.